Who came up with the concept for the film? Was it a collaboration between you and Simon?
Yeah, me and Simon came up with the story. It's somewhat based on the fact that I did a pub crawl when I was 19, which went disastrously wrong, and it always kind of nagged at me that I'd never finished it. And it also annoyed me that it was kind of pathetic to try and recreate something from my teenage years. So then that became the idea for the film. What if these older guys try to redo something they did as teenagers?
Ever had one of those nights that starts out like any other, but ends up being the best night of your life? I did. Our goal that night was simple. 12 pubs, 12 pints, from the first post to the world's end. But that night, we never made it.
There's lots of expectation from the film because of Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. Do you ever worry that fans won't like this film as much as the first two?
I think it's very difficult, and I think you get into trouble if you make a film trying to second guess what fans would like or what fans would not like. I think if you try and guess that, I think you dilute the thing that makes people like you in the first place. What we've always done is we've made films that make us laugh. We've made films that we want to watch, what our friends would like to watch too.
You have to blaze trails, not follow them. I think that's always been our... Thanks, mate.
That's nice. Well done.
That's always been our mantra.
You come back and everything's sort of weird.
I suggest you get on your way.
It's not us that's changed, it's the town.
We are gonna get to the world's end if it kills us. Welcome home, boys. Oh no.
You've described the film as social science fiction. What does that mean?
It's a very good question. Well, there was a lot of, in the 50s and 60s, there were a lot of like post-war kind of science fiction books about kind of paranoia, about sort of other countries, about kind of fears of space, about fears about sort of political kind of, the idea of having to conform. And those things have never really gone away. What this movie is slightly about is how like sort of different kind of like chains and brand names have like sort of taken over the entire country to where all like pubs look the same and all kind of like cafes look the same. And so it's somewhat about that. But like social science fiction is usually like that there's some kind of, it's the aliens within the kind of the stories are a metaphor for something else.
Simon, you and Nick know each other pretty well. You've worked on lots of films together. Do you ever get tired of working with each other?
George, I can honestly say no. I think if you get a chance to work with your best friend ever, you're very lucky. And Nick was my friend before we started working together. So these days when we've got other responsibilities like family and homes in different places, getting to work together is the time we get to see each other. So it's a handy way to hang out.
I saw the boys the other day. We're going to go back to Newton Haven.
Why?
5 guys, 12 pubs, 50 pints. 60 pints.
Now, I want to ask you guys, after seeing the pub scene at the end when you had a fight, if you had a fight in real life, who would win?
I could see you put your cards down. I thought you were going to try and fight us. Nick would win. Nick's got more power in his punches.
I'm a little more spiteful as well.
He's very... I would be a little reticent because... And those seconds count in that situation. I hope no one ever gets into that situation.
And it's not about standing up and having a boxing match. That's something different than having a pub fight.
Yeah, those things are awful. Fighting is not clever or funny, and it should never be done.
Unless you're in the boxing ring, then it's a very, very beautiful martial art.
But not in the schoolyard.
Gary's a bit of a bad boy. Did you think about including a message about behaving responsibly?
I think there is a message in the movie, and without giving too much away about the ending, but I think, Gary does some bad things, but I think he absolutely pays the price for them, and so, I think sort of there is a lesson in there for people.
Thank you.
No worries.